Hi ladies, I'm Phyllis and you're watching followPhyllis.com. Now I know you notice I have a big smile on my face. That's because I'm surrounded by food. What could be better than that? Now there's a reason why I'm surrounded by food. I'm surrounded by food because I want to teach you a little bit about reading nutrition labels. I always think I know what I'm doing when I'm reading a nutrition label, but sometimes you don't. The most important thing is to read your nutrition labels all the time. I'm sure you've noticed that when a bad food, I don't like to use good and bad for foods, but a cookie, let's say a famous cookie decides that they're going to reduce the calorie or a soup is going to reduce the sodium, it's written all over as if they made it to the moon. It's highlighted on the package. It doesn't tell you how much sugar it has, but it's reduced sugar, which really is a meaningless term, as is low sodium, because it's in comparison to what? Now, I want you to look at these two bags of quinoa chips, because I actually use these chips, one of these chips, in one of my videos. So I've been buying these for a long time. I like them so much that I bought them in bulk, because when you turn the package around, it had 9 grams of protein. The company was so proud that it had 9 grams of protein that it put 2 green arrows highlighting that. Then I get a package, a delivery package of a dozen bags of these quinoa chips because I give them out to friends. I always look at my nutrition labels. I don't care if it's the same product they came, I look. I'm looking down and I notice there's no green arrow. I notice that the front is a little bit different. I take a look at the chip. These chips now have 1 gram of protein. 9 grams, 1 gram. Is there anything on this package that would tell you that there's anything different? Because I don't see it. You have to read all the time. I had just done a Follow Phyllis fave on this cracker. I went to buy them, I couldn't find them. Why couldn't I find them? Because they were reformulated and repackaged. Now I will give this company props because they very clearly say 16 calories per cracker. I had just finished writing that they had 13 calories per cracker. I know it might seem like a small change, but all these little changes are very important because if you're not reading your label, in this case, it's not that big a deal. But in this case, it is. It also changed the carbohydrates. And not only did it have less protein, it had more carbs. When you go to the supermarket, don't forget to bring these because many companies put their nutrition, the nutrition information hidden away someplace in very, very tiny type. It's very hard to read. And I'll tell you, I oftentimes will go to somebody, to a young person stocking the shelves and say, could you do me a favor? Can you take a look and read this? Here we have soy sauce, right? All my girlfriends, we go out for sushi. They're dousing their sushi with low sodium soy sauce. Low sodium. What does low sodium mean? Well, it means in comparison to this, because this has 600 milligrams of sodium. That is a lot of salt. So if you're bloating and you say, well, all I ate was sashimi, well, you had a half a cup of low sodium soy, this is going to bloat you. You must read. Everybody I know loves sriracha. It's the seasoning of the moment, right? Speaking to a bodybuilder friend of mine who's getting ready for competition, I said, you know, it's got sugar in it. And he looked at me like he was amazed. It has 3 grams per tablespoon. Now, most people I know, when they put sriracha on, they really put the sriracha on. When you get finished, you got the same sugar as a candy bar or a couple of Hershey's Kisses. I don't know about you. I'd rather get my sugar from candy than my sriracha or my ketchup. My daughter for years used to laugh at me because I would get reduced sugar ketchup. Well, if you look at the ketchup, this has 4 grams of sugar per tablespoon, and this has 1. Who has 1 tablespoon of ketchup? With an order of fries, most people have at least 3. That's a big difference. There's sugar all over the place, and sugar is really the enemy. People were telling us fat, fat, fat. It's not. It's sugar, and it's in everything. If you don't look, you're going to be eating a lot more sugar than you think. You also want to keep your sodium level low. Not to say you can't have salt. but you want to also look and find the product with the lowest sodium. I'm going to get into portion control. When you buy a portion control product, you know exactly how many calories you're eating. So even if you want to have some Skippy, which we know has sugar in it, it's limited. You eat this, you know exactly what you're having. Prepackaged, great. Always, just because the product says it's gluten-free, a lot of women also, it's gluten-free, has no carbs. That's not true. What do you think makes up gluten-free crackers and cookies? Flour. So it's not wheat flour, it's tapioca, it's potato, it's corn, it's sesame, it's carbohydrate. Don't get into that trap that I'm eating gluten-free and I'm not having, I've had so many friends say to me, I don't eat carbs anymore. I said, well, you're eating a piece of bread. Oh, it's gluten-free. Gluten-free doesn't mean no carbs. Gluten-free products, you need to read the labels just like you read the label of butter, of anything that you consume. It doesn't mean that it's a healthy food. It's very important. Don't be embarrassed to bring out those readers and look. It's going into your body. So I've told you how important it is to read your labels. Now you're going to say, okay, well, what should I read? The truth is, they kind of throw so much information at you that you'd be in the supermarket for 5 hours. So when I want to purchase an item, this is what I look at. The first thing I always look at are the calories and the servings. You think sometimes you're buying something, it's a single serving, it's like a little box, I've bought soup. Like a little thing of soup, a little container of soup. It had 2 servings. Who's going to take an 8-ounce container of a grab-and-go soup and split it with somebody? That's not even enough for 1 serving, but yet it says 2 servings. You want to look at the first thing, calories, and how many servings that package has. Now, after the calories, I look at the carbs. I look at the carb count and I look at the fiber. And the way you get your true carb count is you take the grams of fiber and you take it away from the carbohydrate. So you want to look at that. So first the calories, servings, then I look at carbs. Next thing I look at is I look at the sugar. Sugar is everywhere. I said it earlier. It is everywhere in everything. You eat a savory, you have something that is sour. It's got sugar in it. You want to make, that's what I look for. And I always try to keep my sugar, any product I buy, I like a serving to have 5 grams of sugar or less. And you're gonna see, if you don't read your labels, you see, oh, sugar-free jam. There are sugar-free jams that have more sugar in them than a regular jam because they're made with fruit juices, fresh fruit. That's sugar. So don't let things distract you. You have to look at those numbers. I also look at the sodium. I like to keep my sodium low. You'll find products that have, I've seen soups that has 1,800 milligrams of sodium. That's almost a full day's requirement. I'm not going to buy that product, but if you don't look, and it could say low sodium. It's lower than their regular soup, but it's still loaded with salt, and a lot of times sugar too, and you would never think that. Then I look at protein because I like to eat a lot of protein. Now, I don't expect my crackers to be loaded with protein, but you would be surprised. Today, a lot of products, because we've gone so gluten-free, are made with beans that have more protein than a cracker that's made with just the wheat. So I do look at that. That's important also. I don't look too much at the daily value. If you see that it says 100% and it's not a vitamin or nutrient, you want to pass it by. The last thing I want to say is just don't be taken with words like multigrain and good and wholesome and natural. And food companies use a lot of words. They want to make you buy their products. So they're going to use these code words that make people think that their product is healthy. Don't trust it. Take out your handy reading glasses and read your labels, lady. ladies, you will see that there'll be a difference in how you feel because your purchases, the food that you will be bringing into your home, will be much more healthful, and it will really help you to help either lose weight or maintain a good weight.